on Providence and Evil by Sergei Kudin, Catalog of Good Deeds. When I appeared on the radio, people often asked me questions about God's stewardship of the world. We Christians believe in God's providence. We claim that everything is part of God's mysterious and beautiful plan, which includes both grandiose events in world history and individual lives, yours and mine. For many years, however, this leads to confusion, and there are terrible things going on in the world. Are they also part of God's plan? The psalmist says, "For there is not a word in my tongue, but lo, O Lord, you knowest it altogether. In thy book all my members were written, which in continuance were fashioned, when as yet there was none of them." Psalms 139, 4 and 16. This plan cannot be broken. Surely as I have thought, so shall it come to pass, and as I have purposed, so shall it stand. Isaiah 14:24. This truth must be a source of hope and consolation for the faithful, as the apostle says, and we know that all things work together for good to them that love God, to them who are the called according to his purpose. Romans 8:28. Not long ago, I saw an atheist meme on the internet. Every year, thousands of children die before they reach the age of 5. If this is part of God's plan, it's a lousy plan. Not only atheists can be puzzled by this. Whenever we read social networks, there is invariably a terrible catastrophe that claimed the lives of hundreds of people returning from vacation. There are heinous crimes of painful maladies. Are all these part of God's perfect plan? People find it extremely repulsive to think that God somehow stands behind these calamities and sends them to people for some incomprehensible purpose. Well, the idea is just wrong. God is not a source of evil in any way. Misfortunes are part of his plan, but it is in a different sense. Even on a purely human level, we can say that things are part of the plan in two ways. First, it may be that we actively planned and wanted those things to happen. For example, we can talk about a plan to open a surgical center. This plan includes the construction of specialized buildings, the purchase of necessary equipment, the recruitment of all kinds of specialists, and the backing of their work. Secondly, our plan may cover events that we don't indeed intend and are not happy at all about, but that will likely happen. For example, a surgical center's plan will factor in a possible influx of hundreds of car crash victims and other people in need of urgent surgical care every day. We don't want those accidents to happen. They will occur as a result of driving under the influence, malfunctioning cars, icy roads, driver's fatigue, and some other reasons. Still, we are ready for them, and we know what to do. They will not catch us by surprise. Our crash rescue plan covers fractures, burns, bleedings, and other horrible things, and that does not mean it's a lousy plan. A good rescue plan should incorporate all of these things. The plan for fighting an epidemic includes predictions about how the epidemic will spread. A firefighting plan includes predictions about the destructive effects of the fire. An anti-crime plan includes educated guesses about the actions of the criminals. God acts in a fallen world like doctors or firefighters. It's a world in which humans and some angels fall because they rejected his will. A world in which people do terrible things in the eyes of God all the time. A world where a lot of appalling things happen all the time, which God does not want to happen, just as rescuers do not want accidents to happen. Yet all these events do not take God by surprise. God, who has all knowledge, took them into consideration in his plan from the get-go. God does not make predictions. He knows precisely how the events will unfold and how he will react to them, turning the course of history as he needs. God knows how to turn the evil that comes from his fallen creatures into the final triumph of the good. Judas betrayed the Savior, the crowd demanded his execution, and Pilate pronounced the unjust verdict. But God had known that it would happen, and it was through this that he carried out his plan of redemption for the world. God cannot be taken by surprise and confused. Absolutely all events, including the most horrible ones, and those that are contrary to his will, shall be accounted for in his plan. We may find ourselves in trouble. It's very important for rescuers to have a clear plan of action. The Bible's good news is that God has a plan, his salvation plan. He knows what to do, and he will ultimately turn everything that happens to the benefit of his creation. Evil will not only be neutralized and corrected, it will turn into something unthinkably beautiful. A lot of things happen in this world as a result of human sin, either directly or as a result of the damage that the sin has inflicted upon this world. God is not the cause of all this evil, just as a surgeon is not the cause of a fracture or a rescuer is not the cause of a disaster. However, God knows exactly what to do about this. He has factored it into his plan. His plan will be fulfilled, and we shall see how God wipes out all tears. Those who trusted him will rejoice, and no one will take their joy away from them. This is translated by the Catalog of Good Deeds and son Pravnir, and I'll leave a link below for you for this. If you'd like to join me on my Patreon account, you will hear content not covered by mainstream media. These riveting stories will be based on my research, and I will state my opinions and give my personal insight on diverse and controversial subjects and world events not covered by mainstream media, and not supported by YouTube guidelines. So whatever I have on my Patreon, most of those will not be on my YouTube channel. Please consider becoming a member today. More of the most significant and important videos will be on my Patreon channel. Your support helps me to continue my research and keeps this YouTube channel alive. And we depend on your support, your generous charity, because we help economically challenged families here in Athens, Greece, in Kapota, and we also help the young generation with university tuition and the community around our church. Thank you.